Hi everyone, welcome back. For today's mani, we're going to be dipping into dip powders from 915 Aesthetics, and we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to be using dip liquids today instead of the gel method, and I've been really excited to try these liquids, so I thought today we're going to try it with some really awesome, great staple colors, Polar and Flurry. So Polar is the first one we're diving into today, and then after we did this mani, I pulled in another amazing dip powder from 915 Aesthetics. So you're going to see that here in just a little bit. But Polar, it's a really beautiful color. It has a slight blue to it, but yet it pulls purple. It's a really pretty like icy periwinkle, and it's a great solid color. And you can see here when we are dipping into that jar, it has great coverage. Now these dip liquids, they definitely are a great consistency. They're more of a thinner consistency, which that's what I prefer with my dip liquids. Also, I love the brush. That brush, it's a clear brush, and the way it just fans out over that nail. I love liquids with a clear brush. All right, so you see there that I just wiped that brush off before I stuck it back into the bottle on that paper towel. That's so I don't risk contaminating my dip liquids. Anytime I am going over a nail that already has dip powder on it, I will go ahead and wipe that brush off on the paper towel, and then I will go ahead and stick that in the jar just because I do not want to risk contaminating. If your dip liquids over time start getting contaminated, you will notice that the dip liquids are sticky, they're stringy, or it can be completely hardened. That is a sign that your dip liquids are contaminated. So just to try to prevent that, I just practice that wiping that brush off on the paper towel, and I have great luck with that. So you can see here that color payoff here with that second dip. It is everything. It is just the perfect winter periwinkle color. And this color right here is a great color just to add to your collection. Now, if you are building up your salad dip powders, let me tell you, I am so impressed with the 915 Aesthetic salad colors that I know I mentioned it in my last video, but the salads are amazing. They're super finely milled. They're very full coverage. Sometimes when you are playing with salads, they can definitely be hit or miss. These are a must-have. They are such great quality, and they are just blended. So when you are dipping into them, you are getting a great full coverage effect. Sometimes with salads, you can see little speckles or get like white specks in them. I have had no experience with that when I've been using the 915 Aesthetic salads. And normally I tend to stay away from salads because of that problem itself. But these, I am head over heels for these salads, and I cannot get enough of them. And we're going to be playing with more salad colors soon here on my channel. So right now we are dipping into this beautiful shimmer color. It is everything. These shimmers are just so soft and elegant. They're really pretty. If you have any imperfections on your nails, a shimmer dip powder is a great way to kind of cover any imperfections. Also, this like the way in the light hits it, it's just more of like an elegant, softer shimmer. It's not like that overpowering shimmer that you would get with a glitter. It's more of a subtle kind of a glitter in my opinion, but overall super pretty. And we're dusting it off right now before we go with that second coat, and you can see all those beautiful shimmers kind of flying around there. Also, you will notice on my gloves there, the shimmers love to stick on these gloves, which I'm okay with it. We just have a little bit of a sparkly glove moment going on here. But now we are going in with that second coat here. I will say these dip liquids are fantastic. I did mention before that I do like the viscosity of them. I like a thinner dip liquid because I really like having thinner layers, because in the end, that just for me personally helps cut down on my filing and buffing. And then I will say that these are more of like a medium dry time. So if you are doing any nail art or anything like that, or pressing the dip powders down like we just did here on the thumbnail, you do have a little bit of wiggle room. And if you're not making press-ons and you are cleaning up in that cuticle line, you definitely have time to do that and get that cuticle line all cleaned up before it hardens. You do have a little bit of time. So definitely would say these are a medium dry time, and they do smell like dip liquids. Sometimes dip liquids have a stronger scent. Sometimes they have a medium scent. I would say these are also a medium scent dip liquid as well, but I love it. And I love the brush. There's just something about a clear brush. If you have tried a clear brush before and then went into a black colored brush, there's definitely a difference. I feel like the clear brush just like glides over the nail a little bit better. With the dip liquids, there's just something about it. I don't know. It's just a preference of mine, but I do notice the difference. All right, so now that we're finishing up here, I'm just making sure everything was laying really flat. But now I wanted to pull in some beautiful sparkle, and this glitter right here is definitely what I wanted. So totally optional, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply that dip base here. And then we're gonna go ahead and use a little bit of an ombre brush and just tap some glitters on, and then we're gonna hand place some glitters. But overall, I really like the pop of glitter that I did on this one nail only. I was gonna pull in the glitter on the other nail that we used polar, but I just felt like this was like the perfect amount of sparkle, and you get such a good color payoff because it almost has like a holographic shiftiness to these glitters. But overall, they are just so fun. We also will be playing with this glitter right here again in another mani. But I just really wanted to pull it into these beautiful polar and the flurry colors because I just felt like it gave it more of like an icy, wintry vibe. Plus, you cannot go wrong adding a little bit of extra glitter to your nail. I love adding glitter. Glitter is probably like one of my favorite dip powders, but I'm just tapping on a little bit more here. And I actually did not need to go in with more dip base. So I was just able to keep adding glitters, and then I did not have any problems with that dip base drying. So that's another reason why I would say it's a medium dry time. Then to absorb that extra dip liquid here, I'm just going to go ahead and pour some clear over it just to absorb that extra dip liquid here, and then just press those glitters down. And then we're just going to go ahead and encapsulate the rest of the nails here in clear. I'm only going to focus on encapsulating the glitter or the shimmer nails. I'm not going to encapsulate the solid nails, and I'm actually not going to encapsulate that pinky nail that we also use that beautiful shimmer on it, because I wanted to test it out during filing and buffing to see what kind of happens to it without that extra barrier of clear. But I'm also using the clear dip powder from 915 Aesthetics, and I really like it. I think it's a great clear. I did not have any cloudiness or speckles or anything like that. It's a great clear. It's definitely a clear glass clear, and there was no fogginess or anything like that. So again, we're just going to go ahead and gently press everything down here. And then, like I said, I skipped encapsulating on that pinky nail, and I'm just going to brush everything off with a stiff brush. I like using a stiff brush after I go ahead and apply clear. It helps reduce any cloudiness or anything like that before we go in with our activator. And then I'm going to apply a generous amount of activator on the nails, and then we're going to go ahead and let that sit for about 2 minutes before I go ahead and file and buffing. And activating, to me, it's kind of my favorite thing of a mani when I am using dip liquids. It's just like the transformation from the powders just kind of like coming to life after you activate it. That has to be like one of my favorite things about using dip liquids. Let me know what your favorite part of a mani is when it comes to dip liquids. All right, so now we're filing and buffing here. And without throwing your nail around, I am just cleaning up the sidewalls here and just reshaping just a little bit. Honestly, everything was laying really flat, which is great. I love that. That's a couple combinations. That is the viscosity of the dip liquids. We did very thin layers, and then that dip powder is very finely milled. It's soft and buttery, so it just laid so flat to the nail. And now I'm just taking this little buffer block right here, and I'm just buffing on the top of that nail just to smooth everything down, and everything is looking great. So I did the rest of the filing and buffing off camera. That file is amazing, and that buffing block is also from 915 Aesthetics. I love like the little mermaid ombre. So then after filing and buffing, I'm going to go back in with the activator, and we're going to do another layer of activator on all the nails. That's just going to go ahead and seal in everything and get our nails ready for the top coat. Also, when you're filing and buffing, you are disturbing some of that dip powder, so it also helps seal in any loose powders. So then we're going to let that sit for about a few seconds here. I wait about 45 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with a lint-free wipe, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I'm removing any extra activator that may be left on that nail. Now, this is an important step because what's going to happen if you have any extra activator that is on that nail and you go in with your dip liquids top coat, you can risk hardening that brush. So I like to make sure that I'm definitely taking my time to make sure I am getting any extra activator off before we go in with the final step. To finish up the mani, we're going to do a layer of gel top coat. So for the first coat, you're going to do 3 to 4 quick swipes, And that's all you're going to do for your first coat. And then always make sure you are wiping off your brush on a paper towel before you stick it back into that bottle, just in case there is any activator left on that nail. You are wiping it off before you stick it back in that bottle. Now, when it comes to the second coat, you can really take your time and get more precise with your application. And again, this top coat right here, this is awesome because at first it doesn't look like you have anything happening. It just looks like a basic top coat, but when it dries, it's the most like crystal clear finish. It's glossy. It is everything without using a gel top coat. It was still an extreme shine. So I really like this top coat. Overall, I'm super impressed with these dip liquids and I really enjoyed using them. I will definitely be using them again, so stay tuned. But I do love how this mani turned out. I think the colors are great. It's like very wintry, but yet we added a little bit of sparkle here with the combination of that beautiful glitter we added on that ring nail and then that shimmer. And I cannot get my camera to focus right now on that beautiful glitter. It is just like blinding my camera right now. But overall, I just love how this mani turned out, and everything was laying really flat with the combinations of the liquids and the powder. So definitely, if you are in the market for any solids, shimmers, or dip liquids, these are definitely the way to go. So everything that we did use in today's video can be found in that description box below. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one.